I have to freeball it this time because I was so into this and I did a live reaction and we got some things to talk about. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Red Lipstick Reality TV. If you're new here, hey, welcome you guys. We talk about everything here, especially Sister Wives right now. So if you want to join the fun, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit on the notifications too so you know when I drop a new video. If you're coming back, welcome back, Red Lipstick Club. So happy to see you guys. Woo, it's been a week. My Broncos won today. So you know I'm excited, you guys. I have energy. So, but I had to get this video done. I did not want to wait. I did also film my first live reaction. Hopefully that goes fantastic for my Red Lipstick Lover and above members. So yay for that, you guys. We'll see how that goes. I'm working on it, but it took a lot out of me because I actually have already watched this episode now twice. And I'm definitely going to have to do another like breakdown video of just some really standout moments for me. But I just could not do it. I could not watch it one more time today, you guys. I could not handle it. But I wanted to get out and actually talk about the episode. I'm going to do it a little bit more freestyle this time, you guys, because there are just some things that really stood out for me that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to see how you felt about it. And then I definitely want to make sure that I do some videos that just point out some of the other things that I saw as I watched the episode. So hopefully you're okay with that. Just doing it a little bit different this time because your girl watched it twice. And if you watched it once, you know that that was exhausting to watch it one time, but to watch it twice, it was a lot. But let's start with each segment. So you guys, this was primarily a Mary episode. At least it was supposed to be. I still feel like when they try to make it a Mary episode, it's like pulling teeth with her. So it's hard to give her a full episode because she doesn't really give you much. And she really goes around in circles and she doesn't really want to expose Cody. She just kind of is wanting to keep things to herself, so to speak. And I wish she would just let it out. And I don't know if she's saving it for a book. I don't know what she's doing, you guys, but it just feels like she goes around the mulberry bush. And so I do like the points made in the first segment where even Christine pointed out, you know, like how embarrassing, how thoughtless, you know, that it is of Cody to go on national television and tell the rest of the world that he no longer saw himself married to Mary, but did not have the guts and the respect for Mary to actually just sit down with Mary and tell her to her face, enough is enough. I'm not interested. This marriage is over. And what really stood out for me during this is the whole thing surrounding a covenant. And they brought back up this scene where Cody tells Robin that they had this sacred covenant between each other, where if they were no longer happy, they would not drag each other along, and then they would leave the marriages, right? What's interesting to me when they brought that up is that Mary, you know, talks about how he's ended the marriage and that he did not keep his promises. He did not follow through with the covenant that they made. And Cody comes back around and says, when Suki basically puts him on Front Street about it, like, hey, you didn't keep your promises you made to Mary. He says, well, my feelings changed and my personality changed. So therefore, it was done for me. The covenant was over. And I just find it very interesting, you guys, that Robin and Cody were adamant when Christine wanted to leave the family and leave the marriage, that they needed to go to the church and have them do a whole ceremony or whatever the case and get permission for her to leave, right? Because of this covenant, because according to them, these religious marriages are a lot more important than their actual legal ones. So why was it that Christine needed to do all that, but when it came to Mary, Cody just got a pass and he just got to say, I don't believe in the covenant anymore because I had a change in personality. And that's just my thing, is that they use religion when it conveniences them and when it feeds their needs and their thought processes. And when it comes to everybody else, then all of a sudden the religion does not apply. And that to me was just a perfect example of how this family has said one thing and done something completely different. I just saw a lot of lies exposed. Another example of that, and during this episode, was with Christine when she brings up, because Cody says that They were terrible sister wives, which she just can't stop saying. Everybody blamed Robin, and Robin's the worst, and they had terrible relationships with Robin. And Christine brings up how she did a personality test, and she's really interested how everyone's personalities looked. And she said that Robin's feeds off drama, which we can all clearly see it absolutely does. It's why she's okay with being inserted into Mary's relationships and Janelle's and Christine's. And she's really thrived off of Mary's because Mary's has been surrounded by drama and woe is me. And so it's something she thrives on. She loves it. She lives off of it. And I feel like that is completely accurate. And you know, they do tell us that we all have to do shadow work at some point, right? Like they tell you, you need to look in the mirror and do some shadow work, because if it triggers you, if you hear something about yourself from somebody, right? And that triggers you, you need to think about why that is it's triggering you. Why does that trigger me? Why do I feel so defensive when this person says that about me? Because 9 times out of 10, there's probably a little bit of truth that's connected to that. And I don't believe that Robin is one of those people that can accept the fact that, number one, not only do you have flaws, but those things can also have an impact on others. And they may be things that you don't feel so good about, but they are things that you can work on if you at least take accountability for it. And for her to act like she doesn't thrive off the drama is a lie, because we've seen multiple occasions that she's done that. This is why her children have been manipulated so terribly. And a lot of these issues that they've had, in my opinion, have been connected to her need to feed off of drama and play the constant victim. And because Cody wants her to be a wounded dove because he needs somebody to need him and he wants to have control over things, he also thrives off of this. I find it interesting for that moment when they were talking about that personality test. And forgive me guys, I don't remember what segment this was in, but it's just standing out to me because it's kind of flowing with Mary and what was going on with her. Is that Janelle remembers taking the test. Even Mary, even though she doesn't necessarily remember the details of it, she still remembers taking it. And she even said, like, yeah, it aligned with who I am. Even Janelle said, yeah, I mean, I might not be the peacemaker all the time, but when I'm in a good space, this aligned with me. And I just found it awfully convenient. The only one that, number one, at the beginning, she totally denied taking this test, right? Then when Suki got into the details of it, she says, oh, okay, maybe I did. I don't know. Well, what did it say? And then when Suki told her that it was about drama, all of a sudden it was like Robin remembered, right? But then she goes into this story trying to make it seem like she's the victim again. Well, if somebody were to take this personality test for me and make an assumption about me, they don't really know me at all. And I'm just like, Robin, not only did you take that test, you internalized that test. Then you came back around and talked to Christine about the test. Then you kept bringing it up again and again and again with Cody to get sympathy, to make yourself the victim. And you know you did that. But you're not going to admit to that because that would clearly identify another way in which you have been manipulative when it comes to this family and these relationships. Because then even Cody would have to admit, you're not innocent. You're not innocent. None of you are. I'm not saying Robin has all the blame, but the lack of awareness, the amnesia that she gets when it comes to things involving things she might have done wrong are baffling to me. I've never seen somebody remember everything and forget everything at the same time. She just has very selective memory, and I'm catching on. I'm catching on. Robin, and I think you believe that the people that are watching this show are stupid. I really do. I really think you and Cody think you're smarter than the rest of us. And I can almost guarantee you're not. I mean, I hate to say it, but I can pretty much guarantee you're not. And then when you can really think about that is when Suki brings up and Cody brings up how the media and everyone has been jealous of Robin and have made up these narratives about Robin. And he got to the point where you couldn't say anything about Robin, to the point where he was going to punch somebody in the mouth. Now, I want to know how you guys feel about how that took such a violent turn, where if you were to even speak about Robin, whether she did something to you or not, he wouldn't care, because he wouldn't believe you anyway. But you could not say anything. His kids could not. His wives could not. You can clearly see that this guy he's very dangerous to me. And that reaction to people having something to say about Robin, they're not threatening Robin. They're just simply saying how they feel about her. And your response is to physically put your hands on someone. Let that sink in, that that's where this man's head is at. He's incredibly misogynistic. And Robin basically validates that for us, where she says, because he was picking fights with her, he basically doesn't trust all women. This is something that I found interesting with Robin and that situation, is that when Robin got married with Cody, you guys ever remember Robin basically making Cody pay for what her ex-husband did, like holding that marriage over his head, holding her feelings hostage, based off how her ex-husband treated her. She came in with Cody, open arms, open heart, and allowed for him to show her who he was going to be, for him to show her the man he was going to be. And she did not put her experience with her husband on him. But it's interesting with Cody is that he has not granted that same grace to Robin. And he's putting all his baggage from all these other women onto her, as if that's her responsibility now. This woman has been the most loyal to you. Of all women, why you would be questioning her loyalty to you is just says a lot about him. And I think the fact that this man said, I thought about leaving her, getting with somebody else, and then telling that person that they really don't love them. So what you're telling me is you think so low of women that you would go and ruin another woman's life, lie to another woman and tell them that you love them to get with them, and then turn around and tell that woman, I'm not really in love with you, I'm in love with my ex-wife. It shows clearly that this man has learned nothing at all, has no empathy, because for you to think it's okay for you to use the next person, as you say, to punish yourself, what part about that makes sense? That you should be able to use another person who is an innocent party in this as something to punish yourself with. I know people don't like to diagnose, but I'm telling you now, he shows all the symptoms of a narcissist, and it's very scary to me. I'm watching it, you guys, and I'm just like, he's saying this like on national TV with a straight face. You guys, he's saying it with a straight face. So as they're continuing on, they finally get to the breakdown, you guys, of the text message thread. I feel like I've heard about this 1,000 times, but it was kind of good to see Robin have to watch it again and see the responses from everybody else and then respond to it. And this is what I find interesting, is Christine wasn't even on this thread. Once again, I don't understand why the parents had to be on this thread at all. From the beginning, it should have been nothing but the kids. And frankly, Robin's kids are old enough to where they could have managed Solomon and Ariella participating in this sibling gift exchange. Her children did not bring up, not her older ones or her younger ones, none of them brought up wanting to have a video chat call. That was Robin who brought that up. Number 2, Robin was the one that started the negative commentary by saying that they've never treated her right. She's tired of trying with them. And that then sparked her children to feel like they had to come to her defense, because she always makes herself the victim and has been manipulating them and telling them falsehoods. And therefore they started making up and creating falsehoods about their experience and blaming everybody else in the Brown family on why their experiences has not been good. I'm not saying that these kids have had a good experience, because frankly, I don't think they have, based off all the manipulation that has been created by Cody and Robin. So they may have had a terrible experience. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with those siblings. Robin then says, that this has happened from the beginning. Janelle and Christine say, and even Mary were like, we didn't know that this was from the beginning. Like, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say this is from the beginning? And then Robin, who has to throw this in, says, well, I did have to go to a couple of them about their kids, ostracizing them or like picking on them. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, with this many kids in a family, if you don't think there's going to be a few bullies, you're crazy. I'm sorry, but you're crazy. And they were young kids. This whole situation was forced upon them. They're having separation anxiety from their father, who is spending more time at your home because he's trying to get to know your children because he hasn't been around them. Now he's adopting these kids. So it's all these situations that have made these kids, quote unquote, feel more special to Cody than they have. That's going to create some animosity. And I think now that they're adults, let them work it out as adults. Let them work it out as adults. And for Robin to continuously insert herself in this is a problem. And now looking back on Gwendolyn and Peyton, as messy as their stuff was, I see why Christine wanted to keep herself out of it, because when you're looking at how this situation has played out with Robin's kids, if Robin would have sat her behind down and stayed out of it, her kids would have been able to figure it out and they would have had their siblings. Janelle's boys really connected with Dayton and like to see their brother. But the way that Robin has manipulated this whole situation, she's made it so difficult, you guys, for them to have even the most basic of relationships. And it is incredibly unfortunate. And she has taken absolutely no accountability for what is going on. She brings up again how Solomon and Ariella do not know their siblings' names. Well, Robin, whose fault is that? If you have to leave it up to the siblings to come up with a sibling gift exchange as an opportunity for your kids to see their siblings, you're not doing your job. Because at the end of the day, those kids are your kids too, right? They came from your sister wives, as you said, right? Why are you not responsible for those relationships and that relationship building? Why is Cody not responsible for that relationship building? It is a serious, the way that they have removed accountability from themselves when it comes to what's happened with these kids is criminal at this point. It is very clear as day that you and Cody made minimal to no effort to really do this right. And that's why I like towards the end of the episode when Christine and Mary and Janelle started taking some accountability for how they basically threw this family together, forced this upon their kids, and basically told them, and you're going to like it. Mind you, you don't really get that much time with your dad anyway, but we're going to bring in a whole nother wife. We're going to bring in a whole bunch more kids. And honestly, think about this, you guys. For the longest time, these kids were living in almost a poverty state. They were living paycheck to paycheck almost all the time. They were really struggling as a family. Aspen's tucking her siblings in, so she's probably thinking, I don't even see this man as it is. And now he's going out to marry another woman, and you guys are just throwing more kids into this. They didn't know what was going on. Then tackle on you guys moving them to, you guys were these parents were so irresponsible when it came to these kids and how this family came together. I am not shocked that they're having these issues. And the only people not taking accountability for the breakdown of that are Robin and Cody. I find it interesting that Christine, Mary, and Janelle all point out the fact that that this was not done the right way. But for some reason, Robin thinks she has no accountability for throwing her kids into that situation. Why you would think that would be a way to blend a family is crazy to me. It is really crazy. And then to do it on national television, because that's going to make it better. Come on. I just was kind of, blown away by just how everything worked out. I am going to throw in a couple WTF moments for you guys. And one of them is right here.
There was a shift of blame towards Robin that got to the point where it was making me so angry that I was getting to the point where if you had a complaint about her, I'd be like, shut up. I will punch you in the mouth. I was getting sick of the complaints.
So I had to put in this WTF moment with Cody. Oh, Lord, y'all. He just, he's just a piece of work. There's a few. I'm putting them all together because I want you guys to see, but this WTF moment with Cody saying how he would handle anybody saying something about Robin is crazy to me. My second WTF moment is this one.
In your time?
Oh, I was equitable in my time.
Okay.
See, that's where the lie is. I had one of my children complaining that I was always at one wife's house.
And whose house was that?
Oh, it was Robin's. Robin's the blame for everything. And this is the why.
Now, Cody calling his kids a liar. Why would your kids lie about how much time you're spending with them? And why would you think your kids are so stupid that they can't calculate how many days and hours have gone by. I'm very confused. If you were on a schedule like you say you were creating equity with your time, which we all know you were not, why would you think that the kids would not recognize schedule? It is literally parenting 101 to put your kids on a schedule so they understand what's happening and they understand routine. So therefore, if you were on this equitable schedule with your sister wives, why would you think that your kids would not notice that the schedule is no longer lining up? And that the time in which you're spending with them has significantly declined? Why would they not recognize that? Like, who do you think you're dealing with? All right, y'all, last WTF moment that I have is this one.
I was being told that the kids hated me.
In the text thread?
No. Before that I was being told that the kids hate me and my kids.
Who was telling you that?
A person. I was just being told this, and so...
Okay, y'all, tell me, please.
Here's what I found.
Siri, we didn't ask you. I want you guys to tell me, why is it okay for Robin to get on this TV and say that these kids said they hated her and they hated her children? And when she's asked who said that, she has nothing in response. Somebody said it. Somebody said it. I would respect you more, Robin, if you just flat out said, I think these kids hate me and they hate my kids. Not that anybody told you, because nobody told you that. Nobody told you that. And I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody were to tell her that, the only person that talks to her in that way would have been McKelty. And I highly doubt McKelty would have done that. And frankly, I'm going to now go subscribe to McKelty's Patreon, which I didn't want to have to do. But honestly, now I'm thinking I need to start, I'm going to have to go ahead and do it. Because now I feel like because McKelty's getting out of the weeds when it comes to her father and Robin, and she's starting to see the light when it comes to those two, she's going to start getting real honest about what's going on with Robin and her dad. And I want to know what she's going to say to that, to what Robin said regarding somebody telling her that the kids and that hated her and that the kids hated her children. Because I do not believe for a second that happened. I do not believe it for a second. I believe she made it up to play victim and to play victim with Cody. I don't think anybody told her. And how irresponsible of you to get on this TV and say that. You have got to be kidding me. How dare you do that? I have never seen someone try to make their kids so much the victim in my life. Why would you stifle your children? Why would you tell your kids that? Why? I have not seen one semblance of these other kids saying they hate their siblings. I haven't seen a drop of that. What are you talking about? I have watched 18 seasons of this show. No, girl, you're not going to convince me that that's what happened. You're not. So I had to put those three at the end, you guys. I thought it would be so much easier for me just to put my 3 WTF moments back to back like that because I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. We'll see what happens next week. Oh, we at the end, we got a glimpse of David. I heard like one word out of the man. Like, oh, that's what his voice sounds like. So that was interesting to hear his voice. So I'm excited to actually have a little sit-down interview with David. I thought it was incredibly sweet seeing Christine on there and just talking about him and how he made her feel. And I just wish her nothing but the best. Man, to see that joy in her eyes and that just spark, that light in her eyes was just amazing. It actually made me smile while reacting to it. So I actually love that. But yeah, next episode, we'll see what happens. We'll see how much more in the weeds we get. I guess it's going to be the time where Robin says, I'm not being dramatic, Christine. Girl, please. And also too, where we get to see Cody, oh God, y'all. His narcissism is so crazy. Basically saying that Christine's going to make him out to be a bad person so that David will marry her because he won't believe that she want to leave a good guy. It's like, what? He really is lost it, y'all. He is deep in the manosphere. He really does not he really has a disdain for women. It's very scary. If I was Robin, I would run away because I would not want to raise my daughters under that. I mean, how is he treating? I just cannot see that being a good experience. I would never want a father like that. That's a misogynist like that just has so little respect for women that are the mother of his children. I mean, the way he talks about Christine now is just unreal to me. It is unreal. But yeah, we'll cover it, you guys. I'm gonna do some more videos this week because I really want to talk about some of these things in depth, and I really want to do a rewatch this week. I gotta make some time. I will figure it out. I'll make it happen. And we got to get a live. Pressure me, you guys. Pressure me in the comments and say, Anna, get on a live, girl. We're trying to see you. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you hadn't hit subscribe yet, hit subscribe. Hit the like button. Share my video. Thanks so much for the support. And don't forget, you can still join my memberships. I have 3 different levels. So the second tier and above actually gets to see the live reactions. So that's kind of exciting. And also, you just help me to support my channel and keep it growing because YouTube is a lot of work, and I've only been doing it for a few months, and baby, it feels like I've been doing it for 15 years. Okay. All right, y'all. Bye.